Alright, hello guys, welcome back to our channel. In today's video is a bit different because I'm coming to you all the way from my hotel room in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. So this week I have an event that I am attending. So I will be showing you quite a number of things about Ethiopia, about Addis Ababa, that are very, very different from what we know in Kenya. First of all, the first thing that you get to know when you come to Ethiopia is that you feel like you are in an Arabic country, because you know they have this this language of theirs called Amharic, and the letters of Amharic, they resemble those ones of like Arabic. If you look at this tea bag, you will notice that everything that is written in English, it has to be written in Amharic as well. So in the streets of Addis, you'll find that there are so many people who actually don't speak English or French. They only speak Amharic, which is very, very difficult to crack. It's just like Arabic country. So I just arrived in my hotel, and the first thing I wanted to do is to make some quick green tea. Wow, very nice cinnamon, tea to kick off, to start my day today. So the second thing I wanted to bring to your attention is also the Ethiopian currency, which is called birr. It's a bit different from the Kenyan shilling, and as I have told you, in their currency, there is always a lot of writings with regard to their local language, which is Amharic. So if you don't know the readings, the letters and the alphabet, then you'll not be able to read their language. So yeah, you feel like you are in an Arabic country in a way. So I'm showing you some money here, not because it's a lot of money. I actually changed $100 into Ethiopian bill. So in Kenyan money, if you change $100, normally you would get like 13,000 Kenya shillings. And for here, I got 14,000 bill. Birr, actually, not bill, birr. It's B-I-R-R. So I got 14,000 birr. So that is to tell you that the Ethiopian currency has the same strength as Kenyan shillings. Slightly weaker, maybe 1% weaker. But from the conversion from dollar to birr and dollar to Kenya shillings, you will realize that the Ethiopian money is same as Kenyan money. So I wanted to show you how the money looks like. So when I was changing, they told me that the biggest currency, or the biggest, how do you call it, the denomination is 200 birr. So you cannot get more than 200. You know, in Kenya we have 1,000. That's why you see like they had to tie this note of 10,000 birr like this, because it's quite a huge amount of money, because this is in terms of, let me just open it. So those are in notes of 100. These are in notes of 100. Okay, so this is 100 birr. Let me just remove one and you'll see. So they gave me a huge bunch of cash. You might think that is quite a lot of money, but in real sense, it's just 13,000 Kenya shillings that I'll be using here for my, up and downs. So money aside, a few things we need to know about Ethiopia and Addis that I'll be bringing to you in real sense. So I'll be going into the streets, just the same kind of videos I have been doing for you in Nairobi. I will ensure that I go into the streets of this country and show you quite a number of things. So one thing you need to know is that Ethiopia was never colonized. Okay, so it is the only African country to never be colonized. I know in Kenya we celebrate, the Independence Day and those things. But in Ethiopia, there is nothing like Independence Day, because they have always been independent. It is true that I think in 1935, the Italians tried to launch a coup. They succeeded for like a few months, or I think for a few years, to occupy the city, but in real sense, the emperors of Ethiopia were still under the rule of of their country. And I think 6 years later, after, I think that is 1942, if you remember your history well, the Ethiopians were able to kick out the Italians and regain full control of their city. So Ethiopia was never colonized. And also Ethiopia has other few things that are a bit very unique. So if you know the Rastafarian movement, the reggae guys, the origin of the Rastafarian movement, claims its origin in Ethiopia. So I know most of you would relate better with Jamaica, but even Jamaicans recognize that the origin of the Rastafarians, the reggae people, the reggae movement, originated from this country. Also, back from our history, we all know that a lot of human remains that date millions of years were discovered in Ethiopia. So I don't know what we were calling them, the skeleton of, the old people who used to live here millions of years ago. So that tells you that Ethiopia is one of the oldest countries to exist, because a lot of remains of humans were discovered here. I know I can't remember the exact wordings, but I remember a lot of sites were discovered in Ethiopia, just showing you that this is a country that had known human occupation for millions of years compared to other countries. So the other most important thing you need to know about Ethiopia is that in 2024, because I talk so many things about vehicles. In 2024, Ethiopia banned, or they put a barrier to importation of diesel and petrol vehicles, either new or second hand. From 2024, any vehicle that uses diesel or petrol was banned from importation. So anybody buying a vehicle from Ethiopia today is buying electric vehicles. So when I go into the streets, I will show you that the percentage of electric vehicles in Ethiopia is crazy. It's very high compared to what we have in Kenya. So like the lovers of the Mazdas, the Subarus, you will not find those vehicles here unless the older models. But also what you will notice in the street is that there are quite a number of, very old shaped vehicles, in as much as they were bought into Ethiopia or imported into Ethiopia around 2020, 2021, up until 2024. So it is only until 2024 that importation of diesel and petrol vehicle was banned. But compared to what we have in Kenya, there was no age limit. In Kenya right now, we are in 2025. People are importing 2018 vehicles and 2019 vehicles. Any vehicle that was manufactured in 2017 and before, you cannot bring it into Kenya. But in Ethiopia, before 2024, people could actually import 2000 year of manufacture vehicle. If you get a guy from Japan or SBT website from Japan, they are selling a vehicle that was manufactured in 2005, you could still bring it in Ethiopia. You get my point? But until 2024, now that ban was put into place. So what you will see in the streets is that there are so many old shape type of vehicles in the street, because before the ban, people were still getting very old model vehicles, old year of manufacturers, as compared to what we have in Kenya. In Kenya, people appreciate that the look of vehicles you see on the road is very modern, because there is that ban, there is that restriction into the year of manufacture. So in Kenya, you can't go and buy a Toyota Vitz that was manufactured in the year 2000. You will not be allowed. In Ethiopia, you could do that. So you'll find that even the taxis that are on the streets of Ethiopia, Addis, they are very old, because they are the 98, the very old year of manufacture. All right. So the other important thing that we also need to discuss is that why Ethiopia banned the use of, or the importation of diesel and petrol vehicles is that, like in any other African country, we spend a lot of currency. Our foreign currency cost comes from importation of fossil fuel, and that is mostly the diesel and petrol. So Ethiopia has a lot of advantage in terms of renewable energy. They have a lot of solar assets. They have a lot of hydroelectricity, and they said they have even surplus of electricity. Instead of them using their money locally to change into dollars and import fossil fuel, import petrol and diesel, why can't they just ban the importation of those vehicles and and kill the demand for petrol and diesel, and then people can start using electricity that is so much in surplus? And that is what the government of Ethiopia did. They said, in any case, their electricity is already a lot. They have so much electricity that they don't know where to take. And they said, can we just create demand for this electricity by banning importation of fossil fuel vehicles from abroad and those kind of stuff. So in as much as the electric vehicles are also imported as fully built or semi-knocked down, there is still a lot of incentives to encourage people to import electric vehicles and to use electric vehicles, because electricity in Ethiopia is very cheap. All right, so I am not sure if there is something else that I have left out, but I will be here the whole week. I will be telling you so many things about this country, because it's a country that you guys would also want to visit. Ethiopia is very, very, very unique. It is not like when you travel from Kenya and you go to Ghana, or you travel from Kenya, you go to Nigeria. There are so many differences. Like, you feel like you are really abroad when you come to Ethiopia. This is not your usual Anglophone country. So I hope that I will be able to interact with some people in the street who will at least speak in English or a bit of French, because I also speak French, and then I will be able to translate that for you. But if all that I need is Amharic, then I'll be cooked. But yeah, you can also send me. I have like 13,000 Kenya shillings here. Not a lot of money, because I will be using a lot of taxi. I will be buying my lunch and dinner. So for a whole week, this is really not a lot of money. So don't tell me to bring you gifts. So guys, I'll just show you the outside of my hotel room if you are in. So yeah, I will walk out of this place and show you some few things from here. So definitely, you see, I'm not in your 5-star kind of hotel. You can see the neighborhood, how it looks. Okay, you might think that in industrial area there are so many those air cleaners on the rooftop of those I think they are like warehouses or something, but yeah, I'm just seeing it. They are like water storage tanks that are all painted white. I need to investigate that. So you can see the vehicles driving by. I will show you some more of these guys. Right now I need to go and get my haircut repeated or done a second time. The guy that did my haircut was actually, I don't know, but he the haircut looks like for a Gen Z. I really don't like it. I'll have to go and remove what you are seeing there at the top, because this is really not good for a grown-up like me. I need to go and make a mashua cut. Cheers guys. So we'll keep you updated. If you need something from here, hit my inbox, and then we can see how we can do this. And if you are in Addis and you watch my content, always a great pleasure to to connect. Cheers, and see you very soon.